Now, as Nigerians continue to grapple with insecurity, civil society joint action group are questioning the federal government ways to enhancing security in Nigeria. This is as they called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as a matter of urgency to declare a state of emergency on kidnapping and terrorism. Other calls made at the joint press conference in Abuja were for Tinubu to promptly prosecute the 400 sponsors of terrorism arrested under the Buhari's regime, address the floundering economy, corruption, and human rights violation, among others. And here is the report.
The issue of escalating insecurity plaguing Nigeria and how the government at the federal, state and local levels will tackle the situation was the top discussion as the Civil Society Joint Action Group held a press conference in Abuja. With the persistent situation over the last 3 administrations and the alarming fatality and abduction rates recorded, CSOs are calling the current administration to take actionable steps to end the endemic insecurity in the nation.
In President Muhammadu Buhari's second term alone, between 2029 and 2023, at least 24,816 Nigerians lost their lives, and at least 15,597 persons were abducted. This is a huge figure that should actually scare any country. In other countries, even if it is 1% of this figure got lost of their life, they would rise up to do something. But in our country, it's normal. It has become normal to hear this number of people dying, missing, attack, and no action is taken. It's like it's an acceptable way of life because this Nigerians' life doesn't matter.
On how it affects the persons with disabilities, Lois Auta recounted an incident and condemned the government's failure to respond effectively to the escalating crisis.
And when a deaf girl or a deaf woman is attacked, how can she shout? What about blind people and other forms of persons with disabilities? We are mostly affected. We hereby call upon President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the lead agent of government to urgently, number 1, fulfill its constitutional imperative of safeguarding the lives of all citizens. Number 2, declare a state of emergency on kidnapping and other forms of terrorism.
On the upsurge in abductions, with over 230 incidents occurring within the first 2 weeks of January 2024 alone, they said the role of fighting corruption to tackle insecurity should be defined.
You don't just fight corruption. You should say where, in which instance, in which places you are fighting corruption and what you are going to do. Where are the gaps? Are the gaps that we don't have equipment, or that we are not utilizing what we have? But we need to have an assessment, and it should be part of what you do during that state of emergency period. The state is in a state of abandonment. The Nigerian people have to wake up. It's not a civil society thing anymore. It is time to have a multi-stakeholder conversation on insecurity in the country. We need to have it.
They also said that the government should recognize the urgency of the current situation and prefer solutions to it. Some other issues raised were how the government will integrate multiple policing to address the issues.
I think one of the things they have done is to create this independent security outfit. And people are making machetes and knives using their own blacksmiths. In the villages, they are making local guns, and it's very normal. But this is only one way that they are responding. And I think that the northern, elders are completely right, and we are really calling on the government. And not just the issue of insecurity, but what will even happen to local communities, for the future.
If multiple policing will solve our problem, we should debate it and then find a solution that we are going to put in place to make sure that none of the state governments can hijack it. So I think that is important. And part of what this was trying to say is that if government is providing that leadership, it means that the political elite and the political class, no matter which part of the divide they are in, have to come in.
The call on President Tinubu's administration is to declare a state of emergency on kidnapping and terrorism, enhance security infrastructure, prosecute sponsors of terrorism, investigate financial flows of criminal groups, and engage citizens on ending insecurity.